Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Jordan and Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know.
Jordan
and Keith. From pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast with Captain Keith, Jordan, and Mariano. Now, I'm really excited for this week because we've got two albums that I was really looking forward to listening to. And that would be YG's Still Brazy and Blink-182's California.
Yeah, hey, I can't wait, especially for YG's Still Brazy.
Still Brazy?
Yes.
YG?
Do you think we should start with Blink-182?
Okay.
Let the people marinate for
Yes.
Yes.
So, and I wanted to say, in regard to awesome intro,
Thanks.
Mariano.
Yeah, no, very straightforward.
Yes, it's keeping it real. So with both of those albums, it's like the West Coast rides again.
That was kind of the feel good,
Nice.
That's kind of what I got from this.
He's
That's why I was so
delivered.
excited for these.
Yeah, West Coast rides again. So the Blink-182 album, California, like I said, this is their first album in 5 years.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how do you guys feel about this record?
Was it obvious to you that it was the first one in 5 years?
No, I like to research and find out. So no, it wasn't obvious to me. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I've never really followed them. I haven't been really into them. So
I liked it, but it wasn't their best.
I agree. Although I'm not that much into Blink-182. I'm not. That's something I'm not really passionate about. It's something that I like enough to be able to give an unbiased review about it. I'm at that perfect level of appreciation for Blink-182.
Oh no, I love Blink-182.
yeah.
I made friends with a guy one time just because he had the Blink tattoo on his like calf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
so
Are you guys still
you're
friends?
Yeah.
So you're all about it. All right.
Yeah, we're on the verge of getting married.
Really?
Oh, my.
Okay. When's the last time
Oh,
you guys
my.
have talked?
Like the day before yesterday.
The
So
plot
you're a big
thickens with
Blink-182
Mariano.
fan. Yeah. Okay. So
Mariano marriage proposal because of Blink-182.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
Bringing people together.
That's right.
But yeah, it was a good album. I definitely enjoyed it. I don't even really. There wasn't even really too many parts where I felt like a lull. Like the whole thing was pretty good. I listened to it all straight through. It just wasn't the best. The older Blink-182 albums for me were more. They were more like polarizing, and they were more you either love it or hate it. But I really loved it. I loved some of their older songs. What's that?
do you think this one was easier to love?
I think this one was easier to like,
Okay.
but I don't think anybody is gonna love this album.
Yeah. So
It was too bland, and what I love about
it's less
Blink,
polarizing.
yeah, but it's too just boring. Not boring. It's too common.
So you think what makes a Blink-182 album polarizing is also what makes it great? Or?
Yes, because I think that in any genre of any artist, it's you being different is what makes you you.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. The reason I love Blink, System of a Down, AFI, those all Korn, they all have different sounds from anything else. It's not like some of that rock that you kind of fill in the gaps with.
Yeah.
These are all 5 distinct bands.
Well, I think it kind of goes to show the influence of Blink-182 because while they at one point were distinct, they're not so much anymore because there's a lot of people that are doing what they're doing. But I think that they were kind of the forefront for this kind of sound that they can.
Are they considered punk pop or something?
They're punk. They're
punk pop.
They're like punk royalty.
Not to me, dude.
No?
Not at all. This album,
I
I
think punk is something totally different to both of you guys. I think Keith identifies as punk with 80s and 70s. Is that fair to say, Keith?
No. I mean, that's just part of it. No, I mean, you don't have to be from the 80s.
Yeah, it's just an
or
evolution
70s.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just.
What would you wouldn't classify Blink-182 as punk? What would you classify as punk?
Well, I mean, people, I guess they are considered like a new genre of punk pop, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, this album was painful for me, dude. I liked one song. I think maybe "Home is Such a Lonely Place." I think that's the song I liked, but it was just
Bored to Death was fun.
Yeah, it was homogenized for me. It just, I've never been into them, and it was a reminder of that. I don't like it at
Have you checked
all.
out their older stuff, like Dude Ranch or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket?
No.
Of the State?
No, I mean, I've heard some of Enema of the State, but no. I mean, listening to this record reminded me of why I like Green Day.
So, I like Green Day too.
So it's not necessarily that this album didn't do it for you. You just might not
That's
like
a good
Blink-182
comparison.
at all.
I like Green Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't. This album didn't do it for me at all. It just it was
Me
really,
neither. Yeah.
It was painful for me.
Could you say it's the album, or could you just say it's Blink-182?
It's both.
It feels like
it's
just
both.
anything else.
It's both. You know,
I think I'm leaning more towards Mariano, where it did feel bland. It didn't feel like
like Blink-182.
There were a lot of songs that you can listen to in the background, but nothing that stood out to the forefront.
Exactly.
It sounded like this could completely fill up
it was generic.
Like a soundtrack.
It was
to
generic rock.
I mean,
coming of
can
age
I
high
just
school
say,
movie.
because I know you said you listened to Enema of the State.
Well, I think I've heard parts of it, but yeah.
But can I just, like, if you were to listen to a few songs, like Adam's song, Girl at the Rock Show, there's some songs that, or What's My Age Again, I Guess This Is Growing Up. Mm-hmm. There are some that are just, for one reason or another, I just found to be so, like, different, so moving.
I mean, I'm open to checking that album out. That's fine, but this album I didn't care for.
Well, not even album. If you just listen to those few songs, I think you'll.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I didn't care for this record at all. And for the record, I do like punk from the 70s and from the 80s, definitely. And I'm not opposed. See, like, I think if we're going to talk about punk pop, I think Green Day does a great job of that.
I will totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think Green Day is a little bit more like grungy. In a good way. I like Green Day.
Sure. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. But when this album, it just.
I think so.
It was just very. It was
Green
very
Day
bland.
can be grungy. I think that.
But it's not a bad thing.
It's taken a few different approaches, but it still is. It feels very punk, and I agree with you, Keith. I think that if you want to compare the two between Blink-182 and Green Day, it kind of makes me realize how much more I like Green Day and how kind of really I don't really care as much when it comes to Blink-182.
Yeah, but I do want to hear those songs that you talked about, because I've heard good things about Adam's song. People have mentioned
Adam's song is
before.
so good, exactly.
So I'm open to checking it out. But this album, I felt like, I mean, for an album that came 5 years later, it's just like, what was this?
Yeah.
I felt like it was just like I wouldn't have known who this was if I hadn't reviewed this record and I heard it on the radio. I wouldn't have known that was Blink-182.
I would have.
It would have
That's
just been
the
anybody.
problem. It felt like just generic Blink-182 songs. It's like if you told a computer make me a Blink-182 song, that would come out.
Well,
and there were a couple ones that really stood to me. Like once again, I really liked Bored to Death, and there was a few others among those. But nothing stood out so much where after this review, I'm really going to go back to that album.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is I don't know about the word generic, because, again, the reason Blink-182 has a sound that you can say, make me a Blink-182 song, is because they have their own sound. So maybe generic's not the word, but this one was just... It just lacked whatever it was that they used to have.
And you're a fan.
Yeah.
And you're saying that.
Yeah.
So that's serious.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's not great.
But when you say bland, bro, I mean, you might as well say terrible, dude.
Okay,
Speak
fine.
your truth. Like I say
well,
to
then you know
Jordan.
what? I'll put it this way. A very good music store, this is what they'd be playing inside while everybody's looking for other music.
Ouch.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is while someone's looking for the...
It's good background. Is what
exactly.
you're saying.
While someone's looking for, like, the Dude Ranch album, they'll go back to the third floor of the parking structure and they'll hear this album, like, in the elevator.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nobody who's really serious about music wants to be that.
No,
group.
of course not.
You know what I mean?
No. Especially not someone who used to hold, think of what Blink-182 used to be.
Yeah, and I will say this in regards to this group. I do think, listening to this record, I do think they could definitely do better.
Yeah.
So, yeah definitely. So, like I said, I'm open to checking out those other songs. Yeah. And maybe their early albums are much better, but this one, I just wasn't feeling it. So...
It just didn't feel like something I can engage.
Yeah, I can't recommend it at all. So,
I mean, so you guys, Mariano, as a fan, do you think that this is still something you're going to listen to after this podcast?
No, I think there's so many good Blink-182 songs that if I'm in a Blink mood, I'm going for that.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Well, I guess
I guess we're all in agreement on this.
Perfect timing too, because we're about to have to go to a break.
That's
and
correct.
When we come back, we're going to review YG's Still Brazy.
That's right, Still Brazy.
Very excited. Okay,
YG.
So see
you guys have no idea what's
Return
coming.
of the West Coast, baby.
Man.
All right.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Glad to be here. Hey Keith.
Hey.
Hey Mariano.
Oh, I'm so ready for this right now.
All right, me too. So you guys know what's coming. This is going to be YG Still Brazy. I guess spoiler, I really loved this album. This was so good.
Ooh.
I was listening to it, and as you guys know how sound travels to other things, right?
Yeah.
As I was listening to it, my girlfriend stopped me and said, "Hey, what is that? Oh my God, that sounds really good. YG, I think I like YG now." Another stranger saying, somebody I don't even know that happened to. It's just a thing. It's a really, really good album.
Yeah, I mean, I like the album and I don't like the album. I'm mixed on it, but
oh no, okay.
No, I mean, because so there's songs that I don't like, and there are other songs that I thought were great, and he had me laughing. But the way he ended the album, yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth picking up. I mean, yeah, I like it. There's some things, like I said, that I didn't like, but there are other things that I did like. So it's like a balance for me. So I'm glad I listened to it because he had some nice surprises for me. But there are some things that he could. I see his potential, and I see there's some things I want to see him grow with lyrically in regards to his view on women, keeping it real. But there are some other things that he addressed that was very funny. I liked his vocabulary. I liked that he was making up his own vocabulary. But you were going to tell me something about that, Mariano, what he's doing?
That's a blood thing. That's a. First of all, let me just say, without overselling this album, this just dethroned Ro James's album is my favorite that we've done so far.
Oh my! Well, it's kind of like apples and oranges. One's hip hop and one is not, though.
Yeah,
bro.
but one you have to understand too. See, and I'm from
Jordan's
LA.
Got into your head.
No. And understand, this isn't a Jordan. Like I'm from LA. I'm from Southgate, which is right near Compton, and it's you get kind of that nostalgia like we were talking about earlier, and it's. It's still Brazy because he's a blood. And in Compton, the blood thing is Bompton. It's, you change C's for B's. And it...
I love that. I think that's cool.
The rebirth of a Compton rapper. Like last time, it was the Chi-Town rappers, and they've been pretty strong.
Right.
So to see Compton rappers come back and put out a good album is like, yes,
and he did say he's the only one to make it without the help of Dre.
Exactly.
I thought that was cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
I respect the... It's not like disrespectful, but I respect like the competition there. Like, hey Dre, like I didn't need you. Not that there's and the features were good. He had Drake, he had Lil Wayne.
He did enough on this record where I can't say don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean he got me. He still pulled me in. He's a clever guy.
No, he did enough. He did enough on this record, especially with in reference to like Donald Trump.
FDT.
Yeah, nothing.
That was dope. Because that's towards the end.
Exactly.
I didn't even see that coming.
Well,
I'm like, with the intro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Not even just that, but this album, I think, is going to turn out to be way more important than like I think in the future. This is going to be up there with like the Chronic in terms of Compton rappers because of not only what he talks about, but he talks about, kind of unifying with Mexicans in terms of like being treated unfairly, and then puts on Sad Boy in the next song, and Sad Boy goes off on his verse, and I'm like, wow,
and you don't really see rappers.
Well,
doing
rappers,
that.
Right? It's as funny as it sounds.
Bridging the gap like that.
Exactly. Well, as funny as it
culturally
sounds.
Speaking, yeah.
True, but he was the first one I've seen that will say something and then is actually immediately about his word, and he puts on a Mexican rapper.
Yeah.
So how can that not be such an important statement just in terms of where we are as a culture right now?
Well, he basically said in this song, "I got love for for the Mexicans."
Exactly, but then puts a Mexican on.
Yeah.
A lot of them say, "I've got love for the Mexicans." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like when I heard that Sad Boy was on this album, I was actually bathing my dogs at the time, and I stopped and was like, "Is that?"
So can you tell people? So can you tell me who that person is? Because I never really heard of that.
Sad Boy.
Yeah,
he's another SoCal rapper, but he's Mexican, and he's
got bars.
You know what? Usually, I'm not
good.
a fan of like Mexican rappers because they switch from English to Spanish, and I think that's kind of cheating. Because like
not necessarily.
No, I mean
because you want people to understand.
Right, and
I
I understand the culture, and I speak Spanish too. But it's just like if you need two languages, like if you got bars in English and in Spanish, good. But if you have to start a sentence in one and finish in the other, that was less than impressive to me.
But that's to get me to buy it along with you to buy it.
I understand that, but it's just my opinion. It's like, but if you can kill it in English and then in Spanish, you're good. And Sad Boy, right? Sad Boy was dope in that song, was he not?
Right.
He was good.
He was great,
right?
Yeah. Honestly, there wasn't a song that I was like really, I felt like skipping through.
Right.
I could just keep replaying this whole album, and then if someone else is in the room, I'll be, hold on 1 second, don't talk, I'm listening to this album. Just
Sad Boy's verse. Can I say Sad Boy's verse I like better than Drake's verse in the other song?
Really?
See? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I gotta agree with that too.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Sad Boy went on. And Sad Boy goes off if you haven't heard some of his music.
Really?
But just the fact that he's on YG's album, I would never expect that.
Right. Well, I guess they're homies.
When was the last time you heard a Mexican feature on an African American guy's rap album?
I haven't.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, or any Latin rap.
Right, and right before in the song, right
things.
before that, he says like, "Let's all come together," and he actually is about it.
Yeah, so
everybody says, "Let's come together."
Oh yeah. I mean, he definitely put you in his world.
Exactly.
He drew a great picture. My favorite song, "Give Me Got Shot." That's my.
Yeah, you know what? Me too, actually. No, I don't know about my favorite song, but I like
Gimme Got Shot.
I like the message of "Gimme Got Shot."
Oh yeah, he got me good with that one.
Yeah,
I like it. But Bold, Bomb, Belective.
Yep.
I mean, I love his vocabulary. Thank you for recognizing the blood.
Yeah. It's a blood thing. Yeah.
But I still like it because you're making your own words up.
Exactly.
I like that.
Well, I like it more because, like, not so much the creativity. I like it because of the declaration.
But I think that the song
it's not
had
confident, it's Bompton.
Blacks and Browns featuring Sad Boy.
The song had a lot of things that you could say could be anthems for whatever moment, whatever message that you want to give out. The song is something that would fit it really well. But beyond that, there is creativity pouring out of every track.
Exactly.
Well, Who Shot Me was great too. I
Right.
like that, especially the end of that song.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, since Don't Come to LA, I was already.
I didn't like that one that much. Though. I'm like,
do you see what I'm saying? That the
Did
more
you like Don't Come to LA?
Don't Come to LA?
Yeah.
I think people should come to LA. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's why.
Sad Boy was in it.
I didn't dislike it, but I can't really think of too many of its bars right now, so I didn't love it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's not popping out right now.
I like
it was
Twist My
one of the
Fingers,
opening
too.
songs. I like Twist My Fingers
Yeah,
a
he
lot.
said, "Do your dance, YG. Do your dance." I like that.
You see what I'm saying? Do you agree that this is one of those albums that the more you talk about it and the more you think about it, you're like, oh, you know what? I think that this album, maybe at first glance, a lot of people won't get it just yet, but I think like in 25 years' time, when we look back at the...
I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to get it both.
Of course, but I think like in like 25 years' time or more, when a lot of people think back of, who carried Compton, it's going to be NWA, Dr. Dre, The Game, YG.
And don't forget Kendrick.
Kind of
a big deal.
Still pending, yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
I don't know. Kendrick came on strong for me, and his albums have been getting a little weirder and weirder, like harder for me to get into.
Me, I love Kendrick.
I would encourage you to go back to him later and listen again.
Okay.
I think Kendrick Lamar's records will be studied in the future.
I think so. And we talked about that in the last episode.
You know what? Actually,
he's not a legend, but he's on his way. At this rate,
I think he's going to
building
reach
that momentum.
status.
I don't know just yet if YG is a future legend, but this I think is a legendary album.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though.
And I forgot Tupac. Sorry, Tupac.
Right, well, of course.
Well, if I had to pick a top 5, then I probably would put Kendrick and leave out YG. But if I'm picking 5 albums, it'd be like The Chronic, Tupac's the first Machiavelli album.
Really?
Yeah, I liked Kendrick's. Well, think about what they talk about is what I'm saying. Now, I mean, maybe it wasn't like the best lyrically or whatever, but we're talking in terms of the Compton culture of people who are in LA. Which would they take the most pride in? And what's more infamous than Compton's? Than The Chronic anyway.
Well, yeah. I'll say this though. I mean, because would you consider this record like basically like gangster rap? Still.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it does. I think it definitely is, but I think it transcends in a lot of different directions.
I'm not trying to oversimplify. I'm not saying that's all it is.
No,
I'm just saying,
not.
but it's rare for me to have gangster rappers that I like a lot.
You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, he's on my radar now.
Right, he's declarative.
He's on my radar now.
And I don't think that this was. I don't think
Compton
that this
is
was just gangster rap though. Like, and I know what you mean. That you can kind of classify it as that, but to me, I think that there's so many things you can classify it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to reduce him.
He's not
I know you're not necessarily reducing it, but I think that. I think that he's so much more broad, even just from initially. I mean, you can call him gangster rappers. You can also call him just like just a critical thinker too. I mean,
I think he has the potential to be a critical thinker. I don't see that yet.
And I'm not saying like on par with like Kendrick Lamar, but I mean, his flows went just as well with his lyrics. Like, you can pay attention to the lines; they were really good. You can pay attention to like the song; they just worked well together.
Like I said, go ahead.
Sorry. Here's my thing: is think of historical Compton rappers. They don't need to. Not that they're not, but Dr. Dre is not the best lyricist, you know. But what they talk about, the content, is always good.
Yeah.
And this album was full of content, and it was full of him backing up his content. And that's why I liked it so much. I think that's why it'll be just a great LA album.
Like I said, I definitely do recommend the record. He paints a very vivid picture with broad strokes.
Exactly.
So he gives you that picture. He takes you into his world. Not saying he doesn't, because he does that. He does that convincingly. Like, so my only complaint would be, like, I think there's some, in regards to women, I think there could be a lot of lyrical maturity that still needs to happen. Mm-hmm. But the other issues that he tackled, I think, were great. Yeah, so I think the other issues were great that he tackled. Gimme Got Shot was awesome. It was funny.
Yeah. Who
Shot Me was good, and it was very self-reflective.
Anything involving shots, this album has got it.
FDT was great, and Blacks and Browns was great. I mean, so there's definitely things on there's something for everybody to an extent. So
definitely,
it's an entertaining
easy
record
to engage with. With the opposite of the Blink-182, this album was just very easy to access. For at least, I mean, can we agree on that? I mean, for me, that's how I felt.
Well,
whereas Blink-182 was background music for the music store, this was the album I went to buy at that music store.
Yeah, you stood up when you heard this record. He had your full attention. Yeah. He commanded your attention.
Mine started the other way, because I actually listened to this one directly after the Blink one. So I was kind of half listening, and then I heard a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I switched over and had full attention.
So still Brazy being still crazy. YG did his thing. Yeah. So definitely, I definitely recommend the album. But we're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna wrap everything up soon.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hey, we're back. YG still Brazy, Blink-182, California.
California.
Yes, California. There you go, California. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it was the return of the West Coast, and it looks like one was the most, and the other one was not.
Would it be Beef instead of Keith?
No, because it's not a C. It's got to be a C word.
Yeah. Okay. It has to be C. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Because it's taking it away from
C
Crip.
sounding. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you dance, YG? Do you dance? Do you dance, YG? Yeah.
All right, so this is our wrap up. We just did Blink-182.
Yes,
that's a lot of Blinks, and we also have YG still Brazy. So I guess the any of those cool questions that you got, Mariano?
I was going to say, let the questions begin.
Okay, sounds good.
There's no competition for me between these two records.
Oh, of course
definitely.
not. Yeah. I wasn't even going to bother competing with that, competing them against each other.
Yeah.
But I've got a good question for you.
Okay.
Your favorite Compton album is what?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Straight Outta Compton.
I'm gonna go with
NWA. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with The Chronic 2001.
So Straight Outta Compton from NWA, and then it would be after that. It would be probably the Games documentary. And but that's also going to be a toss up between. Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
Actually, I think I'll go Good Kid, Mad City for number 2.
Okay,
It's in my top 5.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't put Kendrick that high earlier is because Good Kid, Mad City was great. His other albums were, to me, were in like a steady decline after that.
And I disagree, but I think it's undeniable. I think Good Kid, Mad City was a classic.
I would definitely encourage you both to revisit Section 80.
Oh, I've heard Section 80, but that one came before, didn't it?
Yes,
Section 80 was great, yeah.
I have Section 80, but
that's the Butterfly. I thought was great
too. That's the foundation for Good Kid, Mad City.
Of course, but that was my point though. Was Good Kid, Mad City was so good, and then the other ones were like okay.
Album. It is a good album.
You know?
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly, you know what? Like I said, go back to Pimp a Butterfly and revisit that.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's going to be an album that's going to be studied years from now.
And to people listening, Untitled, Unmastered,
that's a great record
something
too.
that we reviewed in a past episode.
A great record too. Yeah.
Spoiler alert: we liked it.
Yeah,
we loved it.
Stop saying spoiler. Stop it. But
that gives Keith shell shock. Forgive us here.
But getting back to Still Brazy, great record. I mean, it's a fun record. Like I said, I look forward to seeing what YG does in the future lyrically because I still think there's room for growth.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
But he's very entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so just when I think he's going to go one way, he goes a different way.
Yeah.
He found a way to pull me in.
Exactly. I'll be honest. I liked Who Do You Love with Drake, that song. Mm-hmm. But I didn't care for YG. But after this album, I'm tuned in.
Yeah, no, I want to go back and I want to listen to anything YG now.
I'm going to have to do the same thing because I knew of him, but I hadn't heard his stuff.
Exactly.
And I listened to some in preparation, but I really want to revisit everything because I think this album really turned me into a YG fan.
Definitely. That's what but I mean also like what's coming in the future, I'll keep an eye out for YG.
So, because, I love that he's talking about Don't Come to L.A. He's talking about violence. But then on a song, he's talking about dancing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, cool. There we go. Yeah. He painted a great picture. So
yeah,
he did. So he definitely brings you into
painted
the world.
a great picture.
So and this is the deluxe version of the album that we listened to. We didn't listen to the regular version. We listened to the deluxe version.
Right.
Yeah.
So the deluxe version had some nice goodies on it. So. Yes,
it did. Yeah, I think it's essential that if you're going to pick it up, get the deluxe because there's that wasn't throwaway songs.
Right.
So on the scale,
exactly.
Right. So on the scale from 1 to 10, I give it an 8.5.
You give it an 8.5?
Yeah.
Give me one more 8.5.
One more 8.5.
I'd give it an 8.5 too.
Give me one more 8.5.
Okay, let me think.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm thinking about that now.
Blink-182. No, I'm kidding.
Dude. That's a 2 for me, bro. So, let me see. Another 8.5. Like the game's Devil's Advocate. I give that an 8.5 too. I like that album too.
Devil's Advocate.
I give that an 8.5 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I can give you.
I'd say, honestly, maybe to Pimp a Butterfly. I'd say that.
8.5? Really? Okay.
I'd say that it's an amazing album. So is this. It's probably one of the weakest, and personally, out of all of the Kendrick's albums. I mean, because I loved Untitled, Unmastered. I loved, Good Kid, Mad City.
But
to say it's the weakest doesn't give it justice because it's an incredibly strong album. But I'd say that's about 8.5 to me, and I think that also ranks with YG's.
I will state this though: I still predict that "To Pimp a Butterfly" will be one of those records that will get more popular and grow over the years.
No, I think so, and it's a dynamite album. I think compared to Good Kid, Mad City, there's no competition.
I don't think there's many albums ever that compare to Good Kid, Mad City.
Right.
Yeah.
But hold on. But
which is
getting back to YG though.
Yeah, YG. Oh yeah, definitely.
We're digressing.
YG's album. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Kendrick podcast coming very soon to a speaker near you.
I look forward to like I said. I look forward to seeing what YG does next. I look forward to seeing what more years on this earth and experience give him lyrically. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think his weakest point is his views on women. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I think he's good at what he's doing. So that's my only thing. So I look forward to seeing where he grows. But what people don't realize in regards to Tupac and Biggie, people love them and they're like, oh, they're legends and they were great and that's fine. But the problem is they died before reaching their full potential.
Exactly, before right.
Lyrically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could see it with both of them. So that's why I look forward to seeing where YG goes, where the game goes, where Kendrick goes, where all these rappers go, the older they get. Because it's all about your experiences and what you see, because what you think at 25 is not going to be what you think when you're 30.
When you're 32, exactly.
Right, it's just not going to be.
And that's what I would say, I think I said this a couple times ago, was, we're living right now, like there was a lull in music for a little while, and then all of a sudden we're living in the era of future greats.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah,
I don't know if there's ever a lull. I think it depends on who you are, but I think that music, like more widespread acceptance of what we're into right now, and I think we've been getting a lot of great albums to review, and I'm looking forward to the ones coming up.
Well, that's what I meant was lately. But for me, a couple years ago, music was kind of in a lull.
Understood.
I understand that. Yeah. But it's nice. I think no matter what genre, whatever your opinion is, there's an artist out there right now that is currently killing it in that direction.
Yeah.
And I think YG is one of those people among
many.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I agree with you guys. My biggest hope is that, nothing happens to him. He stays alive because, he is somebody that's definitely approaching that, really a classic status.
Yeah, he definitely has potential. So I'd love to see where he goes. Definitely. So yeah, that's I believe that's it for us now. So we're all in agreement. Blink-182, California.
You can give it a pass, or at least wait and listen to it when it comes into the lobby of a store that you visit.
Unfortunately, like I said, it just made me appreciate Green Day more.
Yeah, not even YouTube it for free.
So. Yeah. But
YG, check it out. Still Brazy Deluxe Edition. Don't settle for standard. You guys jump in, spare those extra bucks. Come on,
dance, YG. Do you dance? Yeah.
I guess that's Keith's new catchphrase. But
it was. So
But in the meantime, that was our show. Next week we're going to be reviewing DJ Shadow. And who's our other guy?
Maxwell, the return of Maxwell, man.
Maxwell and DJ Shadow, so you guys stick around for that. In the meantime, you guys can listen to us on iTunes, GSMCpodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, Google Play. Am I missing something, guys?
Mariano?
Instagram.
And SoundCloud. Nice. Okay, we're everywhere. So until then, hope you guys have a wonderful day. We will see you guys out there in space.
Stay brazy.
Stay brazy. Stay brazy. That's my new. Stay brazy, folks.
Yeah, stay brazy.